football.
They gotta play us!
Okay.
I didn't know you had elves working here.
You feeling strong, my friend? Call me elf one more time.
He's an angry elf.
Cap snuck that in there on me.
I love that.
I was like, what is this? All right. Well, that was a fun surprise. Hooday, everybody. Welcome to Tigress Talk. We are the first and the only Bengal show created by women. I am Jess, a.k.a. Hubei, and I am joined today by Bridget, her soul survivor. Thanks for being here. Bridget, I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody in the chat. Joe Burr is here. The real Joe Burr says Hooday. Greg Luther says, Hooday, ladies, tough loss, but ready to bounce back and keep moving forward. My unpaid intern is sitting on my couch, says Hooday. Mary Miller says Hooday, ladies. Hooday, Mary. Matt says Hooday, ladies. Hooday, Matt. Thanks for being here. Crip says, ladies of the Hooday. What's up, Crip? Thanks for being here. Jonathan Watson said, hey, ladies, happy to be catching this show live. Well, thanks, Jonathan. We're glad you're here, too. Darth Bengal says, Hooday, ladies. Wow, that was really fast. Okay. Anyway.
I'm glad everybody's here with us. It makes it feel less lonely.
I know. Oh, Mama Pam's here. Pam says, hi, girlies. Hi, Mama Pam. Thanks for being here. Thanks, everybody, for choosing us over Thursday Night Football. We appreciate it. This is the only day we could do it. And we have a couple of our Tigress ladies are obviously not here tonight. Kayla is still doing her show rehearsals for her production of the Tempest, the Fairfield Players. Make sure you check out the link in the description to get your tickets for that. And Jerry and Whitney are preparing to get to Cincinnati, so we're super excited about that. We can't wait to see them in Cincinnati. Matt is multitasking. Good for you, Matt. I figured a lot of people would be. But we're glad you're here anyway. We appreciate it. All right. Well, I don't really want to do a game recap. Let's do Luther Vision. Luther Vision when ready. Okay, Greg. Let's do Luther Vision. All right. Hopefully that was good enough for your Luther Vision. I love it, Bridget. That's
Just
great.
knows how excited I was to get that dang ball.
Yeah. That was such a great night. Awesome. Well, Sunday was not such a great day. I feel like it's Thursday, so I don't know what I could possibly say about the game that hasn't already been said already. The offense, they struggled. I really wanted to call Brian Callahan and tell him to sing the Cool Runnings thing where they're like, feel the rhythm, feel the rhythm. Because I feel like it was like there was no rhythm. And I was like, come on, guys.
It's football time.
Yeah, it's football time. But anyway, we had a feeling that it would be a slow start. I had no idea it would be like that. That was beyond my wildest nightmares. But the defense played great, so that was awesome. And then
the defense was exceptional. I think none of us thought it would start like that. I will say I wasn't the most confident. Like Cleveland versus Bengals at Cleveland has been a rough go. And as much
Absolutely.
as we don't like Cleveland, like they do have objectively good players and some key positions. So it's a bummer. It certainly feels worse than the loss last season, week 1, but like
at least that one we were in the game. We went to overtime.
know.
We were an extra
I
point away
know.
from winning that game. We could have won that game a million times over. We had no chance on Sunday. It was just, and once Evan got that field goal, I really thought things were going to turn around, but it just kept getting worse. I mean, we won the turnover battle. I mean, how many times do you win a turnover battle like that? We had 2. They had none. We did not turn the ball over. That's the one good thing I will say about Joe Burrow and the offense is they did not turn the ball over. They took care of the ball. We got 2 turnovers. We couldn't do anything with it. So it was just sad. Honestly, it made me sad to watch. But I think that we're going to come out this Sunday and be a lot better.
Well, it's a good
you're
reminder.
Right, I mean, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, with the turnover battle, folks might be able to put in the comments. I feel like there were 1 or 2 games last season. I mean, we only lost 5 total, right? But 1 or 2 games last season where we may have won the turnover battle and didn't win the game. And I think it was just another reinforcement about when you get the ball on a turnover, you have to get points. As much as I hate to admit it, Dallas exemplified that on, was it Sunday night?
Yeah.
Sunday night, Monday night. So
I think it was Sunday. It was like Sunday afternoon, I feel like. Or maybe it was Sunday night. I can't remember. Pam said, I'm so glad the junior high boy haircut is gone and grown up Joey B is back. People have some thoughts about the haircut. Kelsey's here. Hi, Kelsey. She says, hi, friends. Can't wait for Sunday. Yes, we can't wait to see you, Kelsey. But yeah, I agree with you, Bridget. Objectively, they have a good defense. And I forget whose tweet I read, but it made a lot of sense to me. They just said that the way that their defense matches up with ours, it's just like the perfect storm of chaos because they've got really good guys off the edge. They've got really good guys in the secondary that can match our receivers kind of step for step. And they were just taking away everything. I mean, poor T couldn't get anything done. It was just really good all day long. So it was a tough day. But I don't think it's going to matter much in the long run. And Kay Adams had a pretty awesome video that I will share. If you did not see my tweet, I retweeted this. And I said, all hail the queen, because we all know Kay Adams is the queen here. Oops, I double-clicked it. There we go.
Another underreaction in reaction to an overreaction to what we saw in week 1. I think we're not giving enough love to how well some of the week 1 losers have fared in recent seasons, okay? Because this is like your calm the F down moment, okay? If you look at last year, 2 of the 4 teams playing on conference championship weekend started the season 0-1. Remember, the Bengals lost that 5 turnover nightmare to the Steelers in overtime, and everybody was worried about Burrow then too. And we know how it turned out. The Niners lost to the Bears, okay? Of all teams, lost to the Bears in the pouring rain, and everyone's like, Chicago's going to the Super Bowl. I was literally at the sports bar, and I was like, all right, calm down, Bears fans. And this was Trey Lance's debut as a starter. They lose, all this stuff happens. Then 3 quarterback changes later, and they capture an NFC West title and finish 1 win away from a Super Bowl. So overall, honestly, if you look back at the last 2 seasons, 7 of the 16 division winners started off 0-1. 6 of them won double-digit games, and 5 made it to at least the divisional round. That's an awful lot of success despite starting the season off on the wrong foot. So none of these teams ended the season with Lombardi. I know, I get it, but you only need to go back 1 more year for that. Okay, and let's not forget that 5 months before tossing Lombardi's off a boat to celebrate his Bucs Super Bowl, Tom Brady was throwing pick sixes to Janoris Jenkins.
I love that we
Superdome. So, Bills,
we'll never forget that moment.
Chiefs, Bengals, Chargers, everyone else getting off to a rough start. Look at this. We'll talk to
Joe Burrow throws the
There's
Lombardi
plenty of season left.
Ohio
like
River.
plenty, like a ton of season left. Like there's an extra game now, so let's all calm down and let's figure that out.
All right, so you heard the lady. Everyone can calm down. Christina, we can't wait to see you as well on Sunday. It's going to be so much fun. So that's all I really have to say about the game on Sunday. We knew it was going to be rough, and it was.
And the defense looked great, like you said. So that is a bright spot.
Lou had his guys ready to go, so that's all we can hope for. But Whitney is not here tonight, but Bridget is going to do some game balls in Whitney's place tonight. So we'll play Whitney's graphic anyway, because it always makes me laugh.
Hot, hot, height.
I always wish I had those legs.
Right?
Just kidding. So Whitney is super creative and funny. Oh, puppy.
She's been sleeping in my lap this whole time.
Oh,
She
hi,
wants down.
baby.
He's
Oh, he looks like
He's
it looks like she, you want to give the game balls? I feel like a dog delivering game balls from a pretty epic performance by the dog pound is kind of not ridiculous. Okay, Whitney's creative. I am not. So I am just gonna give like legitimate game balls because we didn't get to see any. That's one of my favorite parts, by the way, of a win is when we get to see the game ball celebration from the locker room. Like I wait for that. I feel like I did at the Bengals last year when it was like Monday at noon, and I'm like, where is the locker room celebration?
I know.
So we'll give game balls to a couple folks who deserved it. Much anticipated, Chidobe Awuzie was back. I know we missed him, especially after that injury in Cleveland last year and that like coming nightmare.
And I know he was on the snap count, so I was glad that he made the most of his snaps. He was productive when it mattered, and he was awesome. And we loved him. We missed him.
He gets the first game ball for recovering that fumble. We're gonna honor the guys who got the turnovers because that is what will ultimately matter down the season calendar. And then our guy Dax. This is really special to me. I don't know if folks know. I got to give the commissioner the jersey for Dax's first round pick at the NFL draft. So really cool to see Dax get that pretty sweet interception. Not that Deshaun is an exceptional quarterback, but we'll take what we can get. So game ball to Dax. And then we got to give one to Money Mac, the only dude who got points that entire game for the Bengals. So he may have missed a field goal, but at least it wasn't a scratch.
In the end.
So game ball to Money Mac. There we go.
All right. Well, that's great. Well, thanks, Bridget, for filling that in for Whitney. And nobody's as funny or as clever as Whitney. So, we just do our best with what we got. All right. I'm going to skip viewer questions because a lot of you guys, your comments and stuff tied in with the conspiracy theories. So let's just go straight to conspiracy theory. All right.
I can never remember the tinfoil, but I have a gray hat.
I should have probably reminded you. I'm sorry, but that's okay. Just be careful of your thoughts because the NFL is listening. Roger Goodell can hear your thoughts if you're not wearing tinfoil. Disclaimer, this section is a joke. We are not conspiracy theorists. We're just having fun. Okay, so a lot of people have been talking about Joe Burrow's haircut, but Bridget, I don't know if you guys know this. I don't know if Bridget knows this or if anybody in the chat remembers this. But do you guys remember about Joe Burrow's socks? The thing with the socks? Do you guys remember
that?
This?
That sounds familiar, but no.
I want to know if you guys remember this in the chat because when I heard this video today, I was like, oh yeah, everybody knows about that, but maybe we don't. So let's watch the video from Jamar Chase's locker room interview today.
I know he is, with his socks. If you ever pay attention to him, just pay attention to his socks. He does one sock in and out. It's flipped.
That's right.
He's been doing it since college. So
You give him a hard time about this?
I used to. I'm used to it now. So like I see it and just shake my head at it. That he still does it. So
Did you ever try it?
hell no. It's not my thing.
What was the reaction like when you saw the hair?
You ever tried it?
Just got a fresh cut. It's a little throw. It threw me off a little bit when I see him with a cut. He don't really cut his hair a lot.
I love it. He's like, no, I'm not going. Like Burrow's not bringing me into his crazy.
Right.
It's no business.
But no, so I remembered hearing about this. There's also a thing with like the apple caramel apple suckers. I feel like he has one of those at halftime too. That's another one of his superstitions, but I haven't heard much about that lately. Maybe he let that one go. But I think it was like one time in college, he had one sock on inside out, and then it was like a really good game. And when he went to go like take his shoes off, he realized that he had one sock on inside out, and then it was like from then on, he did one sock inside out. So Joe Burrow is just like us, is what I'm saying, basically.
Though, if he can eat one of those caramel apple suckers in 15 minutes, that is impressive. Those things take like 2 hours to eat. So
maybe it's before the game.
Well, I
can't
just
remember.
want to. I feel like he would be able to do something weird and superhuman like that.
He is
That's what
superhuman.
we
That's
need a
very
video
true.
of. Someone
That would
needs
be
to do
awesome.
that.
That would be awesome. So yeah, so it'll be interesting to see if Joe Burrow's haircut guarantees us the win on Sunday. I think it might. All right. And then we've talked about this before, but every time the Bengals have a game that is very much out of character, I always say that it's a case of the body snatchers, that I don't know who those people were out there. That was not my team out there. So I'm going to say that today or Sunday was a case of the body snatchers on offense. Now, I talked about this for the defense back 2 years ago when we lost to the Jets in New York. I said the defense was body snatched. But this past week, I think it was the offense that was body snatched. So
maybe
just throwing that one out there.
Did you see the thing where there was like this scientist, was it yesterday or 2 days ago, who presented these like 2 like alien corpses to the Mexican government?
I thought that was a joke because the one that I saw was clearly from Independence Day. So I thought maybe it was a joke.
I might like be totally duped by social media. But let's say it's not a joke, and that can be the soul of the body snatched offense. It is dead. It's presented. It is in Mexico. It is not in Cincinnati. So we're just fine.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, we found out earlier this summer that aliens are real. So, anything's possible at this point. And then I also tweeted about this. You guys may have seen this, but Joe Exotic penned a letter to Joe Burrow, allegedly from prison. I thought Joe Exotic was in prison. So he sent this letter from prison, I guess. And I don't know if I can show this to the point where anyone could read it, but I could read it out loud to you all. It says, for immediate release. So this is some sort of press release or something. I have no idea, but it says, Joe Exotic's letter to Joe Burrows. Okay, lost me already, Joe Exotic, because there's only one Burrow and Joe Burrow of the Cincinnati Bengals. At least he spelled Cincinnati right. I will give him that. I see in the news magazines, as well as yourself, calling you the Tiger King. Everyone in the world is exploiting me. Everyone in the world is exploiting him. Okay. And my trademarks while I sit innocent in an American federal prison. I have been the Tiger King before you got out of high school. Tiger King is my trademark and intellectual property. My life has been destroyed. My parents have died. How is that Joe Burrow's fault? And I continue to fight cancer and 2 incurable diseases. While you all ride fame and attention off my life's hard work. This corrupt Department of Justice has the evidence, sworn depositions of perjury and a plot to kill me from their witnesses, but refuse to admit a horrible wrong has been done to me and let me go home. I am in dire need for experienced criminal attorneys to move my case along before I die in here. My federal judge has refused to answer a motion for a new trial in 16 months. September 7th, 2023 starts 6 years of my life I have lost being wrongfully incarcerated. Since everyone is enjoying the fame of being the Tiger King and I'm suffering wrongfully in a prison cage, how about doing a good deed and helping me raise $20,000 for a down payment to hire attorneys, maybe paying it forward? God might help you get to the Super Bowl this year and I could go home for Christmas.
That's the best line.
Then we can work together to stop animals from being in a cage. For full video evidence videos, go to joeexotic2024.com/evidence. Respectfully, Joe Exotic, but apparently his real name is Joseph Manado. I don't know how to say that. Man, that was, I don't even know, I'm sorry, I missed some of your guys' comments. I don't even know where to begin with that. I mean, I love messy Twitter. I love unhinged Twitter, but that just takes the cake from me. Rob
So
said,
here's
can I
one thing
stop
I'm
by
gonna
and
say.
say hello and good luck Sunday? Week 1 sucked bad for many teams. Are you guys watching the game tonight on Thursday Night Football? Yes. I hope we can watch it afterwards. And then Darth Bengals said, that man is not real. And Will Wall said, I guarantee Joe loved getting that letter. Great story. Yeah, I guarantee Joey Burrow did not even read that letter. But there's just so much going on in this letter. I just can't I just like to bring up the parents dying, and he's got cancer +2 and incurable disease. What? Oh, what? What about it? Oh, the shredder? Tinfoil hat?
Wearing a tinfoil hat.
I'm wearing a tinfoil hat?
It's not the shredder. You're wearing a tinfoil hat.
Oh.
That's are you the shredder?
I'm not the shredder. I'm wearing a tinfoil hat.
Ninja Turtles?
I don't know. I don't remember Shredder from the Ninja Turtles. I remember him as being a villain, but I don't remember what his head looked like. So it's my tinfoil hat crown. Sorry, that was very confusing to me.
Well, I have one thing to say about that letter refuting Joe Exotic's claim that we are exploiting him. So I was in Las Vegas for the draft, and all of a sudden, there's like 20 Bengals fans. There's 20 fans of each team that get to be like in the theater, and you're like, you are there for the entire length of the day. And all of a sudden, this man, the only man not in any team's gear, mind you, walks over, and all of a sudden all the Bengals fans are like, let's get a picture with him. So we get a picture, whatever. He walks away, walks back to the Carolina Panthers section, if I remember correctly. And I was like, who is this random white man? And they were like, that is Joe Exotic's lawyer. And it said that Joe Exotic is a huge Bengals fan. So he was exploiting us by getting that picture to send to Joe Exotic. So that's all a bunch of BS.
I just feel like everybody's looking for the cash grab. Okay, Cincinnati, I'm sorry for the confusion there. I'm going to blame that one on my intern because I was so lost. I was like, I don't know what's being said. I don't know what the shredder means. And yes, we should put that letter in the shredder for sure.
Or in the loo.
After it provides a lot of entertainment for all of us. But
put it in the loo.
So weird. I feel like you told me that before and I completely forgot. But that's so funny that was Joe Exotic's lawyer taking pictures with y'all. That is weird.
Like, oh, this will be so cool. Joe loves you guys. So we got the dish. We know.
Cap's putting the letter in the shredder. I don't know if you can hear that or not. Anyway. Yeah.
Can I say something that I probably will get chastised? So if anyone in the comments, I'm curious who watched Tiger King, because there was a place in something, Indiana, 2-hour drive from here, so this guy, Tim, who was in the documentary, he was friends with somebody, then was enemies with them. Like that whole series is wild. I went in 2014 or 2015. I hate to admit this. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know how these animals were treated. I went to Tiger Baby Playtime at this weird place in Indiana. And that guy came out and he was like, he had like monkeys climbing all over him. He was like poking baby tigers with sticks. But I have met that man, and
This was Joe Exotic?
Not Joe Exotic. It's a guy named Tim.
A guy named Tim.
He's in at one point he's like on a rocking chair, and he had one of these like baby tiger prisons or whatever. But I did get to like cuddle a baby tiger, which was cool in the moment. But like these places are totally whack, and I'm embarrassed I went, but it's a weird story.
Wow. Well, apparently Crypt said that one guy with the elephant lives down the street from him. There's an elephant that lives down the street from you? That is so interesting.
I
I'm
love
finding
that.
out so many cool things about our chat tonight. That's really weird, Bridget. I'm jealous you got to cuddle a baby tiger, but that's weird. And yes, all of his steak cookers ones. Oh, I'll never live that down. I'll never live that down, and I don't even care. I actually went on a photo shoot with a tiger once when I was like doing some like modeling stuff with Instagram and with my friend Dana Ham, who lives close to me actually up in Central Ohio. And she would always do these like animal shoots or whatever. And she was telling me like, a lot of these animals are treated really well. Like they're kept as pets and they're treated really, really, really well. So the one tiger that we got to go see was a white tiger and he was so cute. I'm Matilda. And his name was Saber, and he was really well taken care of. But it makes me sad that there are people out there that have these animals that aren't taking care of them, and they're, all that stuff. But apparently Joe Exotic wants to get all the tigers out of the cages, but I think he just means himself. I feel like that was a euphemism for his own incarceration. And I never watched the show. I don't know anything about why he's in prison. But
Because he tried to kill Carol Baskin, Jess.
oh, really? I
hired
thought Carol
people.
Baskin was the one that killed her husband, whacked him.
Well, that probably happened too. It is a tangled web they weave.
I feel like now I need to watch it. I know Brittany, our friend Brittany watched it. She was like, "Yeah, I blamed it on lockdown, but I watched it."
Well, it came out like that first week we were
Yeah.
all stuck
Yeah.
at home. Like
We were vulnerable.
well, and people would have watched it anyway because it's absolutely insane.
Oh, yeah. Oops, I clicked on the wrong one. I remember hearing about that guy in Ohio who had all the animals, let them loose. Yeah, that guy, that was really sad. That was a sad story because he unalived himself and then let all of his wild animals loose, and it was bad. It was bad, bad, bad. But anyway.
All right. Well, Joe
Okay.
Exotic got a lot of airtime. That's what he wanted.
Moving on. Oh my God. All right. Well, I might honestly. Now I'm interested. I need some backstory here because this is just the most unhinged thing I've ever heard. Like you're exploiting me. My parents died. I have cancer. Give me $20,000. Joe Burrows.
Because if you saw this, you'd be like, that's why the rest of us are just kind of like, oh, that tracks. Because 10 episodes, you're just like, this guy is like, it just, big levels. Levels.
All right. Okay, my last conspiracy was that Sam Hubbard's jersey was the one that was featured on the mannequin in the locker room. I heard this from Joe Petraglia's Twitter. Mike, I'm sorry, Mike. I said the wrong name. I'm so sorry. My apologies, Mike. Sam Hubbard's jersey was on the mannequin in the locker room, and this is the third straight home game against the Ravens. And I guess I didn't really realize that. This is the third straight home game against the Ravens. Like, that is weird to think about because we had the last regular season game, then we had the playoff game, and now here we are, week 2, playing the Ravens again. But I think Sam Hubbard's jersey being on the mannequin might be some good juju. Maybe we can get another fumble in the jungle, and that would be awesome. But
I like it just to, that's like good. I feel like that's good smack acting. Can we smack act? If it's
Smack
not
acting?
talking. Like, I like it. They're not running their mouth. They're not chirping, but it's a subtle homage to Raven defeat. And I love that.
absolutely. Yeah. Cincinnati. I feel a win this week too, for sure. We'll do our prediction here in a little bit, but yeah, I'm with you. Okay, let's see. I wanted to give credit to the people who commented on their conspiracy theories. Greg Luther, yep. Joe Burrow haircut, curse breaker. I agree. And then Matt also says Joe's new hairdo will cause Bengals to blow out rat chickens. I love it. Anybody
I
else
think
have any
it's a
conspiracy theories?
$275 million haircut. It really is. Like, it just looks sharp.
It does. It was a little boy band, and I realize the 90s are back for everyone, and I, for one, am happy about this, but some of the things could stay.
Center part
90s.
bowl cuts.
I mean, trust me, I love me a bowl cut. I love me some Nick Carter of the Backstreet Boys. Nick Carter was my favorite Backstreet Boy. Jonathan Taylor Thomas, they both had basically the same haircut. They both had that that, shaggy bowl cut haircut. So trust me, I was all about it. What? Yeah. Oh yeah. Cap had it too. He has to remind me. Cap had that haircut too. What is that noise?
You can't talk about JTT without Cap. Like they are
right. No, you know what? It's funny. Old pictures of Cap reminds me of Zach Morris from Saved by the Bell. That's what it reminds me of. But alrighty. Brian was your favorite Backstreet Boy. He was definitely my second favorite Backstreet Boy. I loved him, and he had heart surgery, but he's doing fine now. And there's an NSYNC reunion. I don't know if we're ready to talk about that. Got a new song coming out. They're going to reunite. They reunited on the VMAs. This is a surprise to everybody. I saw the Trolls trailer and immediately thought this is going to be an NSYNC reunion. Once I heard, Backstreet with your brothers and everything. So yeah, I'm down for the NSYNC reunion. I've seen Backstreet Boys like 3 times in concert as an adult.
I love that. So I realized I was maybe destined to live in Cincinnati. I think everybody knows I'm not from here. I'm not from Ohio. Been here 10 years. My favorite of the boy bands was 98 Degrees.
I love 98 Degrees too. But I wish they had more songs. They had like 3 songs.
Jeff Timmons was my favorite. Like that was my favorite boy bander. I thought he was dreamy as all get out.
Was he the one with the really round head that always wore the backwards cap?
Yes.
Yes, he was my favorite.
Yeah, like I mean the Lachey's have round heads, but he was the one who wasn't a Lachey.
Yeah, I know. I thought he was the cutest too. Obviously, then I thought Nick Lachey was really cute when he was married to Jessica Simpson, and they had that show, and then he was, really cute and everything. But I love 90 Degrees. I wish they had done more.
So I was on a flight. It was late at night. I was coming back to Cincinnati from Minneapolis, and I'm in economy. Like 3 and 3, and there's nobody sitting in the middle, and there's guys sitting at the end, and I look, or like, sitting 2 seats over from me, and I look over, and it was the not attractive one from 98 Degrees, Justin Jeffries.
Oh yeah.
Cincinnati folks will know he's still very much around. He does a lot around like homelessness and housing.
Aww.
But this dude was so cool. He talked to me the entire flight. I was like, so let me tell you about how much I loved your song in 7th grade. And then when we got off the plane, he was like, did you want a selfie? I was like, I mean, yes.
That's so nice of him.
That 98 Degrees man is a very kind dude.
That is so funny. Yeah. One time Cap saw Nick Lachey at Taste of Belgium. I think it was the one down at the Banks. And I was really mad because I wasn't there. I think I was at work or something. And he was like texting me about it. And I'm like, take a picture of him. And he's like, he's eating. And I'm like, he doesn't have to know that you're taking a picture of him. He's like, absolutely not. And I'm like, okay. Yeah. Cincinnati, Chicken of the Sea. I feel like it's one of the best moments of all of our collective lives from that. That show, what was it called, Newlyweds or something like that, where Jessica, I love somebody who's not afraid to just be themselves and just be dumb if they're dumb. Like it's fine. Like we love her for it. But all right, I think that's all the conspiracy theories I have for this week. Thank you all so much for your comments on Twitter. And thanks for joining in the chat too. Again, this is just for fun. We're not really conspiracy theorists. Oh, I almost forgot. I had there was one time where Nick Lachey posted something on Twitter where he was like, I swear I wore a bucket hat once, and it was like on a magazine cover. It was on a magazine or something. And if you can find it, I'll send you. He's going to send you something if you found it or whatever. But I knew without even looking, I knew that Nick Lachey never wore a bucket hat in the early 2000s or the 90s. Like he never wore a bucket hat. He was always the hair guy. He was not the bucket hat guy. And I actually wrote a parody song about the hardest thing, the hardest thing I ever had to do. And it was about him not wearing a bucket hat. So
did he respond?
No.
Nick.
But that's okay. I didn't actually sing it. I think I maybe threw some lyrics out there, but
okay. I do have a question though. When you and Cap did the Donato's video,
oh yeah,
and you're like, I'm the Hube, and he's like, I'm obviously the Bengals captain. Did you guys know that was like the famous Nick Lachey line from the first season of Love Is Blind?
No.
So he walks into this room. I love Love Is Blind. I can't
Yeah.
get enough of it. So his wife is like, I'm Vanessa Lachey. And he's like, and I'm obviously Nick Lachey. And now everyone makes fun of him about it. And I was like, is Cap paying homage to Cincinnati's own Nick Lachey?
No, because I've never seen 1 second of that show, but it's because he's Captain Obvious, Bengals captain, but it's like Bengals captain, Captain Obvious, so that's what he was going for. But I feel like you're not the only one that said that. I feel like I've heard that from somebody else too.
Well,
So you're not wrong, because apparently that is a thing, but we were not aware of it until recently. So, but. All right, let's get into We Need to Talk. We Need to Talk is brought to you by Brimminghorn Meadery. Code Tigress gets you 15% off 2 or more bottles of wine. Bridget, what do you need to talk about this week?
let's talk about what you and I were doing a week ago today. Is that right?
Yes. Yes, it was.
So, well, you talk about it because Tigress Talk was a base sponsor.
We were. So for the second year in a row, Tigress Talk has been a base sponsor for the Anthony Munoz Foundation's Top Golf tailgate, and it was a really good time. And I love this event because Anthony Munoz and all of his former Bengal buddies get together at Top Golf, and it's so fun. And you get to kind of hang out with everybody, and you get to play Top Golf, which I always have a lot of fun playing Top Golf. And Bridget, you did pretty darn good at the Top Golf games this year. I feel like you were pretty close to winning some of those top prizes.
I was excited. My longest drive that I think I paid attention to was 170 yards, and I was excited about that.
That's awesome. I was not hitting my driver well. I was hitting my irons, but I could get almost all my shots into the one. I forget if it was green or blue or the one that was like over here, because I always push to the right. So I was able to get most of my shots into that green net and did okay. But it's just a fun
points
time
on like every ball because you were so accurate with where it was going.
It's funny because I've been taking golf lessons and I've been trying really hard to get my swing like straighter, like getting my club path so that I can hit the ball straight. And so then once I realized that I couldn't quite hit it far enough straight to hit that target that was straight on but a lot farther away, I was like, I'm just going to forget everything I've been learning and I'm just going to keep hitting it out in that way.
Points are points. We learned last week. Points are points.
That's true. Very true. But
I feel like I need to out you on a potential side hustle. So every time Jess would give me like a piece of golf coaching, like have your chest point the way you want the ball. There was something else that I'm not remembering. I would like blast the best shot after that. So your golf coaching is like really, really good. And I feel like if anyone needs golf coaching, call the Hube.
I don't know about that. Well, I've been taking lessons for like 2 years now, so you'd think I would have picked up something. But my swing was really bad when I started. Not really bad, but I had a lot of work to do. So I've done a lot of work, and one of the things that I was doing is something that I saw you doing, and then it's you take your shot and then you kind of cut it off instead of turning all the way, like keep going. So you did great after you started doing that. I mean, you were doing good before that too, but you were hitting a lot farther after you turned your body the whole way around. So
free golf tip right there.
You did great. And that's such a fun event. And the Anthony Munoz Foundation is such a cool foundation. They give scholarships to kids in need. And I know I say this constantly, but I love that all of these former Bengals stay around town and they hang out and they do their foundations and their charities in Cincinnati. And I just think that that's the coolest thing ever, that they care so much about the city that they played for, that they want to stay here forever. So that was a lot of fun.
And I have had a great time at that the last 2 years. The really cool thing, I think, like, it's not just the former players sticking around, but our current players have incredible charity. And I know people can't support everything. There's too much good stuff. We'd all be broke. But if folks are ever wondering if there's an opportunity, whether it's to donate or participate in a fundraiser, I know at least the two of us are usually sharing things, but I think there's going to be a few more things coming down the pike this fall. But there are so many great things to support, whether you want to buy a t-shirt, participate in a fundraiser, make a donation. So stay on the lookout for that. I don't know. I feel like Cap's got some ideas about how to make all of that accessible to people, but just always look. There's some great thing that a player is doing in either the Cincinnati community or around the country, and that's really fun to see the guys giving back.
Oh yeah, and Juice Foundation has some really cool stuff. I know you got a shirt from there. T. Higgins is doing some merchandise now that I saw recently that looks really awesome. So yeah, you're so right. Lots of cool ways to help if you are able to do so. And then about 2 weeks ago, we did the Free Store Food Bank event, which is always a good time. It's always my favorite event. It's been my favorite event for, I don't know, close to 10 years now. We didn't do the COVID years, obviously, 20 and 21. We couldn't, it didn't happen. But we've been doing that since pretty much since the beginning, and it's always been a lot of fun, and it's kind of evolved as it's gotten more popular. But it's always a really fun event, and that is a cause that's really close to my heart because food insecurity is such a big problem in this city. So having food banks where people can go and get food and to feed their families, I think is really important. So that's something that I'm always excited to support. And we won Topgolf with the offensive lineman. So that's going to be a good time. So we get to go do that. And
I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's always a really, really good time. And you guys won some cool stuff. You won your football that you got there at the silent auction.
This is all I wanted. That Jess knows this. I was like, honestly, just obnoxious about it. But this is also why I wasn't worried about the government stealing my thoughts. This is a Jermaine Pratt signed hat. He will catch it. Nothing's getting past him. So all I wanted was
intercept those thoughts.
Yes, exactly. Intercept those thoughts, not getting anywhere. It was the Jermaine Pratt signed football and hat. And I was like, we got to give Playoff P a little love because that interception during the playoff game against the Raiders, I mean, that was probably one of the most joyful
changed my life
experiences we've had as fans. So I was like screaming to win this. So this is like one of my most prized possessions now.
That's so awesome. Yeah, it's a really good time. If you're able to go, it's so much fun. Skyline Cups, it's the D. We all got the D today. Bridget and I got our D cups.
I've always wanted a D cup.
I just hit my microphone with my hat. I love it. That's what she said. All right. What else? Oh, Holy Grail. We are going to be meeting up at the Holy Grail on Saturday night before the game. So if you are local to Cincinnati or if you're coming in before the game, feel free to come meet us at the Holy Grail on Saturday. I don't know what time we're going to get there. Maybe 7, maybe 8. I don't know. But lots of fun people are going to be there. Obviously, me and Bridget are going to be there. Jerry and Whitney are going to be there from Florida. I've heard from a lot of people that are coming in. Zim's going to be there. Lots of our fun friends. Christine from New Jersey is going to be there. Obviously, Whitney and Alex is going to be there. Kelsey and Sarah Lise, unfortunately, won't be there because they have commitments with UC because the UC game's at 7. So the whole thing might be very chaotic. I'm sure Holy Grail is going to be very busy. So be sure that you're patient and kind to everyone working there. I'm sure it's going to be busy there, but we're going to all meet up there and have fun.
It'll be so fun.
Yeah. All right. Cincinnati's going to try and make it. That sounds great. And if you see us, just come up, say hi. Tell me. You might have to tell me your Twitter name or your handle on YouTube because I'm not real good with names. So a lot of times I know YouTube or Twitter handle. So you may have to introduce yourself by your Twitter handle. Maybe we can get name tags made with your Twitter handles on them. And then the game's on Sunday. It's our home opener. So I'm very excited about that. I loved the video they put out today. I love all the videos that they put out blowing up the fans because that just makes me feel so good as a fan. Just to think that like what I'm doing there matters and that I matter to them and that, you know, us being loud is important to them. It just makes me feel so good as a fan to know that I'm contributing in some small way. Because honestly, if they let me down on that field, I'd be down on that field. And the security guard at my section, Ken, you know, I'm talking to you. I joked all the time with him that I'm going to jump on that field. And he's like, you're not going to jump on this field, Jess. You're going to break both your legs if you try to jump out of the stand. So, you know, we can't all suit up, but we can yell really loud. And Cap wrote maybe a lesson. So maybe I'll give a quick yelling lesson. Do you guys want a quick yelling lesson?
Yeah, do it.
All right. So I actually made a whole video on this and I never posted it because sometimes I flake out on things because I have ADHD. But basically, if you've ever taken any singing lessons or known anything about singing, yelling, public speaking, projecting your voice, the most important way to make your voice louder is to move more air across your vocal cords. So you've got your vocal cords that's in the back of your throat. You've got your diaphragm that sits underneath your rib cage. And when your diaphragm is low, your lungs fill up with air. And then as your diaphragm goes up, it squeezes all the air out of your lungs. Now, most people, when you're walking around everyday life, you breathe with just like the top half of your lungs. Most people don't take full deep breaths that expand all the way down into their lungs on a daily basis, unless you're meditating or doing yoga or going to sleep or something like that. So if you've noticed, like if you look at little babies lying on their backs, you see their belly rise and fall. That's because they're breathing with their diaphragm. They're using their whole lung space by moving their diaphragm. So basically, if you think about making your belly really like round, like you're pregnant, and using your diaphragm to fill your lungs all the way up with air, and then basically then contracting all of that air out, you can be a lot louder. And I would also encourage people to use a tone that is most like their normal speaking tone. If you try to go too high with it, you're going to strain your vocal cords and you're going to get hoarse the next day. So like sometimes I'll hear people that they're screaming like this and they're screaming like that. And that's like really bad for your voice. So what you want to do is you want to fill up your lungs with all your air. And then yell like this. And then you can yell really loud and you just use your normal tone that you use just for speaking. And don't do, poor Duff. I need to give Mark a lesson on using his diaphragm. But you know, it's hard. It's hard in the moment because you see something and it's funny. I'll never forget the playoff game in Kansas City when I was home and Cap was there, and I think you were there, Bridget. Mm-hmm. I had to work that weekend, and it was all that playoff run was so chaotic because I feel like nobody was really expecting it to go like that. And so I had to work that whole weekend. So I couldn't go to Kansas City. So I'm at home on my couch by myself. And I think it was the interception. Was it the interception going into the half? Or maybe it was that last interception, but I was so startled. I screamed at the top of my lungs, like, ah! And my voice hurt the next day. And I was like, I can't believe people scream like that for the whole game. So, you know, just use your whole lungs, do the best you can when you lay down at night. Think about it. Think about breathing. Think about breathing and filling up all your lung space. And then see if you can use that to project your voice and be louder without harming your voice. I've never lost my voice after a game. I've never been hoarse the next day. I've never lost my voice after a game. And I yell the entire time. And I yell really loud. Yeah. Defense. Yeah. Cap likes to. So I think as much as we hate Kansas City, they're so loud because they all do the same tone. It's the same word. Like it's not a word. It's a but if we can, you know, do defense, like hold the E in defense, like defense, you know, that could get really loud versus people just, you know, yelling whatever their own thing and things like that. So I think it'd be cool if they could do that, like a lead kind of defense thing on the scoreboard. I know they did the who and the day, and I thought that was really cool. I liked that. That was something that they did in Carolina Kansas City, they do keep pounding. So I thought it was cool that we did the who and the day, but I would think it'd be really cool if they could do like a defense.
I feel like during like the week, a bunch of us should meet. Like we should have Tuesday screaming practice and just go like around the stadium, and you're like on a stage, like okay, from
All
the
right.
diaphragm, team, and like I feel like that would be that's what we need to do. That is a community building activity.
I love it. No, when I was in middle school choir, my teacher made all of us lie down on the floor and practice breathing like that. Practice moving your diaphragm and breathing. So it's a real thing.
Breath work is also very good for you. It's very good for your mental health.
It's very good. Yeah.
Your breathing.
Absolutely.
Just gave you all a golf lesson and a whole breathing lesson.
A breathing lesson, a yelling lesson. It's good for meditation, counting your breaths,
Everybody got a lot out of today. It might not be what they expected, but
hey, I went into this day thinking I really don't want to talk about this game. I'll talk about anything. I'll talk about anything but that game that we just had.
It's perfect.
Okay, so looking ahead to the Ravens, let's do a prediction, even though Miss Jerry's not here. So I'm real sad Jerry's not here, other than the obvious. We found out Jerry was psychic season 1 before the Ravens game. And it was the game where we went to Baltimore. And Jerry said, you know what? I don't think this game is going to be close. And we were like, what? She's like, I don't think it's going to be that close. I think we're going to win by a lot. And we were like, okay. And then we did. And we were like, okay, Jerry's psychic. So that's how Miss Jerry became Miss Jerry, is because she's psychic because of the Ravens game. So I don't know, Bridget, what are you thinking about the Ravens game? What are you looking for?
I don't think it's going to be that one, the Jerry prediction. What was that, like 42-17, 41?
Something crazy. Like they were in it in the first half, and then the second half they were no longer in it.
It was fun watching Joe throw that game too. Like it's that and the first Steelers game, away game of that season, and the home game for the Steelers that year. Anyways, I don't think it'll be that close, though. Dobbins is out now. I feel like, so I will say I like Lamar Jackson. I'm not going to pretend I don't. I like Lamar Jackson. I liked his style of play a few years ago. I think he is. I don't know that Lamar Jackson takes care of his health.
He absolutely does not. He does not care about his body at all. My man did a front flip into the end zone and does not know how to do a front flip and landed square on his back. I mean, give me a break.
I'm not sure he takes treatments like he should, or maybe preventative health stuff. So he to me is a bit of a tender flower. So that's all my context. I feel like this third Ravens game in Cincinnati is going to feel a little like the last two. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I might go Bengals 24, Ravens 21.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like doing score predictions because I don't like math, but I think the Bengals are going to win. I don't know if it'll be close or not. They have a lot of injuries, and we'll get to the injury report here in a second, but I think as the injuries pile up, it's hard to win, especially they have 2 guys out on their offensive line. I think that's going to be tough for them. I think our defense is going to feast on them. So I think our defense has another really big game. And I hope that our offense can get enough points to win it for us. And I really hope that our special teams is better. I think Brad Robbins has got to be better. I think he was disappointed with himself. I think a lot of us were kind of scratching our heads. But, again, and nobody likes excuses, but I think the weather definitely was a factor. Joe and Co are pissed. Yeah, I would love that. I would love it if they could put on a show for everybody and give us the old razzle dazzle and score lots of points and do all the things that we love seeing them do. I would love to see them, use that over the middle stuff that I feel like was there maybe, but wasn't, they were I feel like they were doing a lot of sideline stuff last week just because that was kind of their bread and butter last year and it worked so well last year. But I would like to see them do some stuff over the middle, maybe. I mean, I feel like they just kind of take what they give them at the end of the day, but I would love to just see points no matter how they happen. So
I would love to see the O-line, hold a solid pocket for Joe. I think that's what, as long as we have Joe Burrow, that is one thing we will want. But there was that one series where Mixon, what did he have? It was like maybe the only 2 consecutive first downs or 3 consecutive first downs we had all on Sunday. I think Mixon, I want to see Mixon get a chance to have a dominant run game. And I'd like to see Travion be able to come in there. Because I think what P. Ryan could always give us, Mixon could give us the big runs, but when he was having a hard time either finding his lanes or breaking tackles, you could get Samaje in there, and Samaje would sometimes light a fire. So I would love to see Travion not have to be what Samaje was, but complement Mixon in that way.
Well, I feel like Travion quietly had a pretty good game on Sunday because if you look at the grades, he was the highest graded pass blocker. So I feel like he's doing a good job. I just hope that it will translate into him getting, the carries and getting some yards as well. But I 100% agree. I think that having Samaje and Joe for the past couple of years was such a good 1-2 punch, especially when Joe Mixon went out with injury. I feel like Samaje was really able to step up, especially I think it was the Steelers game I'm remembering from last year. So I really feel like that's going to be Travion. Travion's going to kind of come into that role and be that guy. So I really hope that he can continue to do well in the blocking scheme because I feel like that's where these guys kind of, you don't really see it all the time. A lot of times you don't know it until afterwards when you see the grades come out because if they're doing a good job, you don't really notice. But I think that Joe and Samaj or Joe and Travion will have big days. And I think that Joe's going to be slinging the ball all over the field as long as his calf feels good. And I hope that it does. But they still got him on the injury report. So with that, maybe we should get into the injury report. And again, Kayla is rehearsing for her big production of Shakespeare's The Tempest. Make sure you guys get tickets to see her. We miss her, but we're so proud of her, and she'll be back after her show is done, I think in 2 weeks. So, all right. So Bengals, Chris Evans did not practice with a hamstring. Marcus Bailey, Joseph Asai, and Cam Sample were all limited. And then full practice, Joe Burrow's calf, Dax Hill's hand, and Logan Wilson's ankle. So nothing too surprising there. I don't know. I don't really know how these injury reports work. I'm not real sure why they keep listing Joe Burrow calf on there if he's full practice participant. I don't really know what the rules are about that, but
I think they do it just to scare the crap out of us. Every time I see a name on the, I'm like, oh my God, what does this mean?
What does it mean? Okay, but the Ravens, boy, they're hurting, and I feel for them. I do. I hate injuries, and I hate the Ravens. I really do. I hate them. I hate the Ravens. I hate the Steelers. I hate the Browns. Of all of our division rivals, I think I hate the Ravens the least.
Same.
But I hate anybody to be injured. It just sucks. It really does. Marlon Humphrey did not practice with a foot injury. Tyler Linderbaum did not practice with an ankle injury. Ronnie Stanley did not practice with a knee injury. Marcus Williams did not practice with a pectoral injury. Mark Andrews was limited with a quad injury. And J.K. Dobbins, that was the one that really broke my heart. As an Ohio State fan, he is done for the season. He tore his Achilles. So that is sad for him. So
I think if Mark Andrews doesn't play, I mean, that is very much like a Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce situation because Mark Andrews is a pretty dominant weapon for whatever the hell quarterback is out there because we know the Ravens like to move through the season with different ones. I mean, Marlon Humphrey is, if he doesn't play, that's a bummer.
I heard that he was questionable, that he might play, and I kind of thought that he would, but if he's still not practicing on Thursday, I don't know what that means, but it doesn't sound good.
So I get all irritated about narrative. Whitney and Jerry probably wanted Mama Pam, if you are still here, she got an angry FaceTime, or sat next to an angry FaceTime when I called Whitney during the game and was like, I can't believe this is the way Joe's playing after signing that contract. The media is just gonna hate it. Like, I'm just being a dramatic, crazy person. And Whitney talked me off the ledge. But I don't like things that are just clear narratives. And if and when we beat this Ravens team, you beat our B team. No, we beat whatever team was you fielded out on the field that day.
Yeah.
Those people.
We heard it last year.
Yeah. And I think that's annoying. I thought it was annoying when they said, who was it? Mike Tirico, who said that, yeah, a bit, Mama Pam. Okay, I was a bit.
She knows better than to call me with that nonsense.
I was in my feelings time. But was it Mike Tirico? Somebody said after the Chiefs lost to the Lions, well, it should be the Lions win.
An asterisk.
Because Travis Kelce was out. Okay, the tight end didn't play. So, like, these are the kinds of things, as much as I love some of our sports analysts, there are some that just make me want to walk into the ocean. And I was like, that is so you play, the team who's on the field is the team that plays. If other people got hurt and your people didn't.
Injuries are not fair. They're not fair, but guess what? Nobody cares. Nobody cared when it was us. Nobody cared when we were injured all those years. Nobody cared that we had to play the freaking Steelers in the playoffs with what's his face? I don't even remember his name right now. Who's our backed up Andy Dalton forever? The Alabama guy, AJ McCarron.
Oh yeah.
You know, we had to play AJ McCarron against the Steelers on that playoff game that was awful, and we almost won it anyway. I mean, nobody cares. Nobody remembers that. Nobody remembers that AJ McCarron was the starting quarterback for that game, because guess what? It happens to everybody. Nobody cared. Nobody remembers. Nobody cares. They didn't care when it was us. So don't be crying about asterisks when it's you, because it's never been a thing that anybody has ever given any thought to. But when it's you, it feels like the world is ending, and it's terrible. It sucks. Don't get me wrong. I hate injuries. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I wish everyone could just be healthy, and then we got everybody's best every single week. But the reality is that people are human, and that's not what we get. So
Ben is calling for Violet, and Violet's not listening.
I was gonna say, I saw her go lie down like a good girl.
Yeah, she's like,
she's like, I'm comfy right here.
Do we need to talk, though? Because speaking of injuries, we had the lad, Lyle Collins, on the pup list. And now he's on no list.
I don't know enough about contracts and monies and trades and things of that nature. I know there are people that were upset about it. I don't really know what I don't really understand why people were upset, other than I did love Lyle Collins as a person, and I loved having him on the team as a person. I thought he was a really nice guy, and we'll always have Kenwood Mall. But, the reality is that we have a lot of guys now on our line that are healthy and good, and I just don't know that there was going to be a spot for him, and they maybe needed to open up some money for other contracts. Again, I'm just kind of speculating based on what other people have said, but I was sad. I was sad to see him go, but
yeah, sad to see him go. I mean, he was a decent pickup in free agency, so that was okay. I'm really not surprised by this. I think the only thing that surprised me was how long it took. I thought they would have released Lyle, and I think there's been debate about this. Some folks thinks he played okay. I didn't see anything from Lyle throughout the season that I was like, wow. I felt like he was on his back a lot. So I'm not surprised. And we haven't heard much yet on his injury. I don't think I listened to coaches or yesterday, but I feel like they're pretty tight-lipped about it, right?
I listened to what Zach Taylor said, and he just said basically like it sucks. It's never a good time. It's always sad, and I was sad to see him go. And he's a great guy, and I love the way that he loves the game, and he had a lot of nice things to say about him. So he didn't give any like indication that he had been injured or that, you know, obviously we know he was, but you know, he didn't really say that that was why. So, you know, I don't know for sure, but
Yeah, he might not have been healing quickly as they would have liked, but and you know,
yeah, it'll be
maybe
interesting to
conspiracy,
see.
maybe that cap lets us get money for T. Again, I have no clue how that works, but we'll have more money. Maybe we can give more money to T.
Yeah, I would be okay with that. I think a lot of people would be okay with that. I I think it'll be interesting to see if he can pass the physical because I've heard that other teams are interested in him now. So we'll see kind of if he gets picked up, if he can pass the physical and yada, yada, yada. But. All right. Anything else? I think that's all I really had to talk about. I want to, of course, mention our wonderful sponsors again, Brimminghorn Meadery and Sara Sella Jewelry. I've got my bracelet on. I love this bracelet. I will wear it on Sunday unless we are losing, and then I will take it off like I do with all my jewelry at games. And I've got this awesome homage shirt. This is like my new favorite t-shirt from Homage. I love this. I love this unhinged tiger logo. That makes me happy.
Favorite. I love that logo.
Yeah. So Homage has some really cool stuff. I'll link them in the description after we're done here too. So, and they've got the satin jackets back if they're still, I don't know, they may have sold out by now, but the starter jackets are back on Homage.
I think Black Owned might still have some of their reversible satin.
They did. I saw them on their website. I don't know where, I don't know what's going on with those.
I think
thought they were sold out.
I think there's some pieces that came to be, so folks will want to stay on the lookout too, because we might have some special things coming out around Black Owned. I'm really into the Where I'm From stuff. This is, I mean, it's like a large or an extra large, and it's soft and comfy and amazing. And I kind of like the old college looking font.
I have an orange top that's just like that. It's orange.
I love them. And then the tank tops are so good. And I'm not an LSU fan, but I somehow ended up with a Joe Burrow, do good purple shirt. It's like a great, relaxing, I just want a soft t-shirt. I'll buy anything apparently. So the Where I'm From stuff is where it's at.
Where I'm from is where it's at. I love it. All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us tonight. Thanks to everybody in the chat. We appreciate you guys. Thanks to everybody who watched live. Thanks to everybody watching after the fact. Make sure you like and subscribe. We'll have some fun stuff coming up this year. I'm excited for this season. So, and I hope to see a lot of you guys on Saturday or Sunday this week. So I think that's all I got. WHODEY, everybody.
WHODEY. Peace.